Number 2 on this list is a gun you cannot buy new anymore. And almost every American farm once had one hanging by the back door. And number 1? Number 1 was a single gun that was a rifle and a shotgun at the same time, one barrel stacked on top of the other, whatever the moment needed. 1952. A boy is 8 years old. It is still dark outside. His father hands him a single-shot .22 and points toward the corn crib. The rats are in the feed again. That was the boy's first real job, not a chore, a responsibility. The gun was a tool, exactly like the shovel and the pitchfork leaning beside it. Every farm had guns, not for show, for work. They killed the rats in the grain, they killed the fox at the henhouse, they put meat on the table, and they ended suffering when suffering had to end. Today, almost none of that is left, because the farms themselves are almost gone. In 1935, America had nearly 7 million farms. Today it has fewer than 2 million. Half this country used to live on the land. Now it is less than 2 people in 100. These are 10 guns that every American farm once had, and that almost no farm has today. Let's count them down. Number 10. The 4-10. This was the smallest shotgun on the farm, and it had 2 jobs. The first job was snakes. A farmer loaded it with tiny pellets the old-timers called snake shot. He kept it leaning by the barn door. A copperhead in the feed room did not last long. The second job was a boy. The 4-10 kicked almost nothing. It was the gun a father put in a child's hands first, out behind the barn, with a coffee can on a fence post. Every farm kid in America started right here. Almost none of them do now. Number 9. The barn rifle. Every barn had one. A plain bolt-action .22 with a long tube under the barrel that held a fistful of rounds. Winchester made one called the Model 67. Marlin made a dozen like it. Nobody babied them. They lived on 2 nails over the workbench, covered in chaff and dust. This was the most used gun on the entire farm. Rats. Pigeons in the rafters, a groundhog in the garden. It never rested, and it never broke. Ask an old farmer what happened to it. Most of the time, he does not know. It just stopped being there one day. Number 8. The kit gun. Here is one that people forget completely. A lot of farmers carried a pistol. Not for people, for chores. It was a small .22 revolver, and it rode in the bib pocket of a pair of overalls all day, every day. Smith & Wesson literally called theirs the kit gun, because it fit inside a fishing or trapping kit. A snake in the yard, a rat cornered in the shed, a raccoon that would not leave. The kit gun was always right there, on your chest, while both hands did the real work. Number 7. The double barrel. Now we come to the predators. A hawk circling the chicken yard, a fox testing the fence line at dusk, a coyote getting bold near the calves. For that, a farmer wanted 2 fast shots, and he wanted them to spread. The old side-by-side double barrel hung just inside the kitchen door for exactly this. It was not a hunting gun. It was farm defense. For everything that came for the livestock in the dark, here is where the story turns. Everything so far has been about killing something. A rat? A snake? A fox? But the hardest thing a farm gun ever did was not about a predator at all. And before we get to that, one of these just put a specific place in your mind. A barn, a back porch, a single nail on a wall. Tell me in the comments what farm you are picturing, and whose it was. Number 6, the Mercy gun. This is the one nobody likes to talk about, but every farmer understood it. Animals on a farm get hurt. A horse breaks a leg. A cow goes down and cannot get back up. A day comes that a man would give anything to avoid. And on that day, the kindest thing in the whole barn was a gun. Usually a plain .22, kept for exactly this. Nobody enjoyed it. Every farmer I have ever known called it the worst part of the job, but they did it themselves, because doing it themselves was the last kindness they could give. That was the real weight of a farm gun. It was never about power. It was about responsibility. Number 5. The varmint rifle. Some pests you simply could not get close to. A coyote 200 yards out across a field, a groundhog that had learned to run. For that, a farmer needed reach, a small, fast, flat-shooting rifle, something like the .22 Hornet. This was the specialist. It did one thing. It reached clear across a pasture and solved a problem the barn rifle could never touch. Number 4. The workhorse shotgun. If a farm had only one gun, it was probably this. A plain single-shot break-action 12-gauge. One barrel. One shell. Almost nothing on it to break. It did everything the others did, all in a single gun. Snakes with the right load, foxes, birds for the table on a Sunday, a warning shot into the dark. It was cheap when it was new, and it is cheap now, and it may have done more honest work than any other gun on this whole list. Number 3. The truck gun. Every working farm had a rifle that lived in the truck, behind the seat, or in the rack across the back window, always there. Usually it was a lever-action .30-30, a Marlin, a Winchester. It went everywhere the truck went. A deer in season, a coyote in the field. It was the gun you never went looking for because it was already with you. Number 2. The Plinker. By the 1960s, a new kind of farm gun arrived, the semi-automatic .22. Marlin built one called the Model 60. Ruger built the 10-22. They are two of the most produced rifles in all of American history. Cheap to buy, cheaper to feed. It became the gun by the back door, the one the whole family shot, the one that taught a second generation of farm kids to aim. If any farm gun survived, it is this one, but the farm it belonged to mostly did not. And number 1, the Savage Model 24. This is the farm gun. If you sat down to design one from scratch, you would build exactly this. It was a rifle and a shotgun, stacked one barrel on top of the other, a .22 on top, a 4-10 underneath, a little lever flipped between them. Think about what that meant out on a farm. You are walking the fence line, a rabbit for the pot jumps up on your left, a hawk drops toward the chickens on your right. One gun answered both. It was born in 1938. Over 1 million were made. Farmers and ranchers and trappers loved it more than almost any gun they ever owned. Savage stopped making it in 2010, and a whole world quietly went with it. That is the truth about every gun on this list. Not one of them failed. They killed the rats and guarded the henhouse and rode behind the truck seat for 100 years. Then the farms began to disappear. Nearly 7 million became fewer than 2 million. The barns fell in, the kids moved to the city, and the guns went into a closet, or a pawn shop, or a grandson's safe, where they sit today, unused. The gun by the back door was never really about the gun. It was about a way of life that needed it, and that life is almost gone. If your family had a farm gun, tell me what it was in the comments. And if you want more of the things America grew up with, stay with us. There are plenty more where these came from.